It's midweek on Jasiri, and that means it's 2 days to the weekend. We're still riding the wave of the unforgettable Super Falcons victory this past weekend, a moment we've been unpacking all through the week, and for some good reason too. The conversation around the Super Falcons is still front and center, as it should be. Their victory at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations wasn't just historic, it was their 10th title, a feat no other African team has matched. We are celebrating their brilliance all week, and yesterday we spotlighted the president's gesture, plus a nice song that followed, plus all the goodies, the national honors, the 3-bedroom homes, and a cash reward of $100,000 per player. But the words have brought up some very, very interesting conversations.
So why did it take this win, the Super Falcons' 10th win, for the government to start talking about developing women's sports in Nigeria? Why has this level of recognition taken so long, especially when the Super Falcons have received similar or even more for doing, or rather the Super Eagles have received either similar or more for doing less? And if this gesture was so overdue, why are some Nigerians saying it's too much, given the country's current state? So we heard from the government. Now let's hear from the people. And what are they saying? Let's start with this. This is Jasiri on the street.
Actually, that gift of $100,000 is too much. The reason is because average Nigerians cannot afford 3 square meters. Some once, twice. So to me, it is too much.
It's not that it's too much. That's their field. That's their profession. They were remunerated because they have done well. So it was just showing them appreciation.
What the president has done is very credible. It's been a long time we've experienced that kind of, representation in terms of the kind of award. If you recall very well, there have been tournaments upon tournaments, and then they will come in, they will tell them they will give this and they will give that, and then they end up not getting anything. So I think it's okay, it's not too much.
Personally, for me, I would say at least he did something to encourage them. At least he has done something.
The whooping 100,000 reward that he promised them, I believe, to my own understanding, with the situation or the economic situation of the country, I don't think any president that has future for the nation will go to that level, to that extent, promising them $100,000. For what?
Other workers too should be well remunerated, and a lot of people are not even employed. The unemployed are rather much, so they should look into that too.
It may encourage youths who love money so much, but whatever the country does, they should consider the economy of the country, how the poor are getting poorer in this country. For that reason, I cannot back up that gift that they're giving to those players, $100,000. It is too much.
A whole lot of us are not ready to work. If I tell you the time that those girls put into practicing, right? It's like you reading for a particular exam. That is their own field. So I will say this to the Nigerian populace. If you think you have skill and you can do something, right, that will bring you, to the limelight, why don't you keep at it?
For the economy, well, I really cannot say, but then he has given them the money. What can we do about it?
Yeah, it will encourage young people that are tilting towards that field, that line, to work harder so that they will be able to get to the higher heights of their career.
If you want to earn, you have to look at what other people have done. If you want to reinvent yourself, you have to learn some trade or learn some skills. And then when there are opportunities, grab it.
There are other things that we can actually do apart from sport also. But if someone have interest in football and feel like there's no money there, there's no future there, this can encourage the person, okay, there's future in football also. If you actually want to go to it and you're interested or you like playing football and all of that. Money and the apartment and acknowledgement is what they can actually give them to say, okay, yes, well done. We see what you guys have done. People have put effort, training, sleepless nights, energy, and there are women also. So at least they tried, yes.
What I think we should be doing right now is not to be joining side with people and saying it's too much. What is too much? There is nothing that is too much.
I just think this is really an interesting conversation because of when it's happening. This is their 10th win, a historic 10th win, but there have been wins along the way that, in a way, they should have gotten some level of recognition. They got applause, we're happy for you, thank you, and everything, but where was the reward after the applause? But it's really interesting to me that this conversation is happening. So I think, is it a conversation of the situated time, or is it a conversation of, because it's the Super Falcons and not the Super Eagles, how do we shift through what is actually at the heart of some of the criticism that's happening now?
I like the fact that you said that. Is it the fact that it's the women, the Falcons, and not the Eagles? Because the truth is, if it were the boys, there wouldn't be such a furore about it. It's as if it goes without saying that they should be compensated. The only thing left for Nigerians would be that let's see how well or how much they'll be compensated with, or how well they'll be compensated. And I think we are very double-standarded. We are very double-standarded as a people, because it doesn't affect us directly, because it doesn't affect you directly. You feel that, okay, it's too much now. Who are you to even say what is too much? Now you go there, go play. Do you know the dedication? And we kept saying on this table, when Onye was there, when we had conversations with her, and she said the girls are determined. They were focused, and Onye mentioned at a time that they were not thinking about the money or the compensation. They just wanted to win. They just wanted to build themselves solidly as a team. Yeah. And they came against formidable opponents. Yeah. And they still came on top. And we still said on this table that they've won more titles yes, than the boys, the Super Eagles. So what is there not to compensate?
Why are we not talking about? Why are we not talking about the prize? The prize money is $1 million. Am I correct?
100,000.
No, they only get a percent. No, the prize money from CAF is $1 million, but they only get a percentage of that.
Of it. Yes. But I saw somewhere that CAF increased the prize pool to 3 something. I don't know. I can't remember. But at the end of the day, right? Even if they're getting a percentage of it, I think that each player should at least be going home with something like 60 or 50 million in the list, because if we're to convert that to naira, that would be about 1 trillion. Divided by, let me just even say 10, right? So that would be like 100 million. So if they're getting a percentage, that's like maybe 30, 40, 50 million.
Like 12 playing.
Yeah, no, I'm because you have
so I am even saying if they're getting a percentage of it, that's like 30,
they're getting 30% of the $1 million.
So it's not like they're entirely broke. It's not like they're going home with nothing, right? So this is an addition to what they're going home with. And I said it yesterday that the fact that they're getting rewarded for this does not mean that Nigeria is taking money from poor people, because poor people are still poor, right? So
that's not how she said it. She quoted the Bible and said, "Is it not the Bible? Will always be with you." That's what she said.
Exactly.
Don't try to come and say you said it a different way.
So it's true, because the Bible said it: the poor you will always have with you. So whether or not there would always be poor people. If we're agitated at the fact that people are poor, we should take it up with the government. We should not now say that the government should take. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul, literally.
But the thing is, I understand where some Nigerians, because most of the time you process information based on where you are at, from where you're looking at it from. If everybody is looking, if a lot of Nigerians are looking at it from the pockets or their own pocket, not like the coffers of the nation. Yeah. And of course, we know that tournaments like this come with huge, benefits when it turns out right. And in fairness to these girls, over the years, I don't think they've gotten their adequate compensation. Even this one, though I said it backstage, is nothing. It's in my head. I have my own conspiracy theory. So it might not even be
with us.
No. When they come for me, where will you be?
You will not be many, you'll be one.
You'll be there. So sometimes Nigeria are just talking from their own pain. If you see, almost every individual is talking about it from their own side. Like, do you know how many people would have sat down to calculate what that can do for them and their families? I'm sure some have looked at their babies and said, "You will not ball, eh?" You know, like that.
Play football.
Who think about playing football? Either male or female. So sometimes I empathize with Nigerians generally. It feels huge in everybody's ears. Yeah. But there are some special jobs that people do, and that it's not every time they play tournaments. Some months they are not playing.
It's a biannual, so it's
a biannual thing. Yeah. So it's not like they'll keep earning that on a monthly basis. sometimes some of them are not even, even though a lot of our girls are international, but, you know, but sometimes football has seasons.
I think we're very entitled people. When we've sat on this table, so many conversations have been on this table, guys. We have had so many conversations on this table. I remember one of them saying that Nigerians were entitled. So you said something that when Nigerians give, come out your eye for the giving. If you contribute, like for chorus case.
They asked all of us to contribute this morning.
It was chorus case that we talked about, how Nigerians were demanding receipts and accountability. And you said, we sat on this table and we said, if you give people money as Nigerians, remove your eye from there. Allow them spend it the way they want to spend. So I think that's what is also doing us here. Who are they to be collecting? Why would they be collecting?
Let me give you a breakdown, because I think we need to do some breakdown. So the Confederation of African Football is giving $1 million to the Super Falcons for winning. But that money is not the Super Falcons money. You guys might think it's the players, but it's actually going to be something that's going through the NFF. But let's also note that this is double what was earned for 2022, which is $500,000. And before that, I think WAFCON winners had only ever received around $200,000. So that's even a notable increase for women's football. That's to be said. So we know that the president is doing $100,000, which is around 153 million naira, while 11 technical crew members will receive $50,000, which is about 75.6 million naira. And then all players and staff were conferred, as we said, with the Officer of the Order of the Niger, and then the 3-bedroom apartment as well. Don't forget that the Nigeria Governors Forum, so let's not only focus on the president, the Nigeria Governors Forum is also giving 10 million naira cash to each team member, that's players and staff. And then the NFF bonuses. Yeah, so the NFF has pledged 30% of the 1 million would be distributed to the squad. So that's 300,000 or 230 million naira. And that's to be shared among 24 players. If shared among the 24 players equally, that's about 12,500 each. So there's not really, we didn't hear like a main sponsor, which is also something we need to talk about, sponsors for women's football. But there was a point where I think the Ogun State government gave 20 million for a friendly win, and that was before the final. I don't know if that was 20 million each. I don't think so, but it was 20 million to the squad. And so that has happened as well. So it's $100,000 from the presidency, 10 million naira from the Nigeria Governors Fund, possibly $12,500 from the NFF bonus pool, 1 3-bedroom apartment, and national honor.
So if anything, right, I would say that we should even be happy about this, because this in a way sets precedence. In maybe the next few years, one more person from the, let's say, education sector represents Nigeria in international competition and, you know, floors them and gets all the awards. We should be talking about, okay, President, you did this for... No, it has. So I'm saying that, I mean, in the past, we didn't see this kind of huge, you know, compensation. So now we have the right to say, okay, if you did this for the Super Falcons, you should do this for this young man who represented Nigeria and, you know, put us in the spotlight. The same way in the health sector. If one more doctor can successfully bring out a baby, operate on the baby and put the baby back, and the doctor is Nigerian, they should also be compensated this much. So I feel like, if anything, we should even be happy about this kind of precedence, because whether or not it was carefully thought about or thought out, this is a way of, for lack of better word, entrapping yourself, because now you have done this, you have set the standard. So if any other person, I mean, Nigerians honestly are even in no position to talk, because these are the same people who would watch a reality show that the prize money is 100 million and still do a GoFundMe for people that did not win. In fact, they will go fund the person that won. So you have no right to even complain about this.
I knock on wood.
Honestly,
for you. I agree with you.
Okay,
Because
pause it. The reason I'm saying pause, this is our conversation for the hour, but we want to talk about more than just this, because we have one of our sports correspondents joining us. Let's take it, because Catherine is about to enter Gear 5.
So they came, they played, and they conquered again. Nigeria Super Falcons have claimed their 10th WAFCON title, cementing their legacy as Africa's most successful women's football
Their
team.
father.
Their daddy.
Their countries.
But this time, the victory came with more than just a trophy. National honors, cash gifts of $100,000 each, anybody way pin may pin, and 3-bedroom homes were awarded to every player, coach, and team staff by President Tinubu. Now, a historic gesture that has sparked national conversation. Is this the beginning of a new era for women's sports in Nigeria? or just another fleeting moment of applause without real investment? News Central's Opeoluwa Adebari joins us after the break, so stay with us.
All right, so Nigeria's Super Falcons have done it again, clinching a historic 10th WAFCON title with grit, with skill, and a dramatic comeback that captured hearts. I personally watched all the matches. So their victory was more than a win. It was a moment of national pride and inspiration for girls across the country. So in this rare gesture, President Bola Tinubu honored each player with a national award, Order of the Officer of the Niger, OON, a cash gift equivalent to $100,000, and a 3-bedroom flat in Abuja, the richest package ever bestowed on Nigerian sportswomen. Coaches and support staff were also rewarded substantially. So today on Jasiri, we celebrate the champions, but we also ask the real questions. What comes after the confetti? How do we turn glory into policy? How do we turn trophies into grassroots progress? Opeoluwa Adebari joins us on the table. Okwe, blessed art thou among women. Welcome to Jasiri.
Thank you very much. Good morning. It's a pleasure to sit on a table of excellence.
Okay. I didn't tell you I was going to say, okay, I've not quite seen you like this.
Yes. No, I was coming for a special occasion, so you must give respect where respect.
You know, every time I hear you sports, they just have a way they
say it again.
It sounds sporty.
Yeah. Sitting on a table of excellence, as you're coming, you must give respect where respect.
Lolo,
my leg is swelling.
I think you should start valuing me more than because it's like we don't value ourselves a lot on this table.
I think it's okay. You can go. You are done for that. It was fantastic having you on the show.
Yeah, wow. It was. Abi is.
No, she said you should be going.
Intro. Honestly, wow. Thank you so much for sitting with us. We're really appreciative of your presence. So we're still reeling from all the furore because ever since it happened, the girls have not slept. They've not even kept water inside cup and put it down like this. After their gift, with all the celebration, with all they are kneeling down, rolling on the floor, Nigerians have not let them to rest. But let's take ourselves back to the tournament as a whole. You know, they did it in Morocco. I think the final was played in a place called Rabat. Did Morocco deliver a memorable tournament? Because we did speak to our correspondent there, and she gave us,
she talked about the taxi driver that didn't even know
that a competition was happening, about the general feel of Morocco, and how Nigerians had to, pull themselves to get there because our national supporters club could not get to Morocco. Just tell us.
Well, sincerely speaking, it was disappointing. Disappointing in the sense that there was no feeling that a national competition was going on or a continental competition was ongoing. And for a country who is hosting, whose female team is quite good, the North Africans are one of the best in football. Yeah. And when you think about that, there was no sensitization. When you get to a country that is hosting a tournament, from the airport, you need to get that feeling. There was no banner. No one is talking about it. No buzz. Not even on the radio. Not even on television. And then the locals as well, they were not aware. Well, and due to their orientation as a nation, as well as the religion that they usually practice, they are not really supportive of women playing football. So I think that also was another factor. But hey, in December, we're going to have the men play.
In Morocco as well. And see, I swear to God, you're going to see a complete different. Not a 360, you'll see a 180. I recently understood if you do 360, you go back to your starting point. Back, So it's actually 180, guys. Let's change our orientation.
Exactly.
But you'll see a complete 180 when it comes to the games in December for AFCON. Oh my God. But it's fine. We'll give it to them. We still went and we still came back. I think it was DSTV that did that did a flyer and said something about the week. Oh God, you took the home cup. You'll see it. We have it somewhere. But they basically say you enter someone's home and you carry. Thank you. There we go.
Oh my God.
Thank you. You people are playing favorites, but no other. So beyond the fact that there wasn't the buzz, really didn't look like there was the awareness of it. we had a good tournament, you know, and I congratulate the Super Falcons. They won every single game they played, an unbeaten streak all the way to Mission X. So let's talk about Mission X. Yeah. Why is it so significant? Why is it so important? Especially when you have somebody like Asisat Oshola on the team, Mission X complete. What was that significance for all of them and even for us?
History being made, not just in Nigerian sports, but in African sports as well. Yeah. In football in particular, it's quite rare for you to see dominance for many years, for that long. And when you consider the number of years that Nigeria has been consistent thus far, and also, you know, the challenges that the team always goes through, from injuries to not having proper coaches, to not having enough preparatory games for the tournaments, we always go and find one way or the other to be victorious. In the past couple of years, countries like South Africa and Zambia have come in and basically tried to take that crown away from us. But I must say, by this tournament and completing Mission X, we're now miles apart from them because it's absolutely historical. And I must say that in the history of Nigerian sports as well, this has to be ranked top 5 for me. Definitely has to be ranked top 5.
Sorry, excuse me, what ranks, why is it not number 1?
Well, it's debatable. It's debatable. Maybe behind the scenes I might say something else. But definitely, of course, but definitely top 5 because it's absolutely amazing. You don't really see dominance like this everywhere. Maybe in South America, but for this extent, considering the quality of football that we have now in women's football, absolutely amazing.
And one thing I noticed is this coach didn't seem to be one who was constantly putting himself out there. He attended the pressers he sort of had to attend, answered the questions he had to answer. But he wasn't. You've seen a lot of times where our coaches themselves have become complete personalities, almost media personalities. This guy was quite very behind the scenes and focused on his focus. Am I wrong or right?
No, you're very right, because Justin Madugu is someone who has a very interesting background, very interesting story. Someone who has climbed through the ranks, started from the lowest and got to the top. For me, this is a position that was alluded from him for many years. He has served at an interim level. He has also served as an assistant to the former coach Randy Waldrum, who was at the helm for about 6 years. So he's been learning the trade. He's been with the girls. The girls trust him. They love him because he's someone who has fantastic man management skills. I think when you have a conglomerate of stars, you need to know how to manage them because the Super Falcons are embarrassingly blessed. Exactly. If you listen to an interview by Michelle Alozie recently that she gave a couple of years ago, you know, when she got into the team, there were some people that she had to address as sister, auntie, and all of that, just because of, you know, the egos and the age difference in the team. But for someone like Justin Madugu, once he took charge, everyone got behind the bandwagon. And one more thing about him being in charge was the difference in the style of play. Under previous coach Randy Waldrum, we seemed to be quite, first of all, we're defensively compact, which was good. However, we seemed to lack that spark, that
the aggressiveness of the push.
Exactly. We found it difficult to create chances. We found it difficult to score goals. But Justin Madugu came, gave them a structure, but still gave them, you know, the license to express themselves. That's why you see the likes of Esther Nkoronkwo playing beautiful football, Michelle Alozie, Ashley Plumter. But then again, I will give credit to Randy Waldrum because during his tenure, we were able to gather a lot of our best stars from the diaspora. You know, people that didn't grow up in Nigeria, the likes of Michelle, the likes of Esther, the likes of Ashley Plumter, and so on and so forth. I remember Jennifer Echegini, the person who scored the third goal, the winning goal. She was at a restaurant working when she got the call up to come and play for the Super Falcons for the first time. So many brilliant, amazing stories. A lot of individuals who have come from grass to grace. The likes of Folashade Ijami Lucy coming from Edu Queens. The girls that have been products of FC Robo, talking about Asisat Oshoala, arguably the best female football academy in Nigeria or maybe in Africa. But these girls struggled to get to where they are today. So there's a lot of sentiment and emotion attached to this Mission X. Most importantly, going into this tournament, reportedly, the girls were owed bonuses from previous international fixtures. Going into this tournament again, reportedly not being given camping allowance. You get to Morocco, and then you see the state of, quote-unquote, the hotels that the ladies were lodged into, which on the first day, Rasheedat Ajibade blew the alarm and said, look, this is disrespectful. These are women plying their trades in the best leagues in the world. America, you know, England, Spain, the creme de la creme of female football. So for you to bring them down for an international tournament and not give them that honor in terms of just proper Care. It was appalling. But nevertheless, also one other factor which was quite annoying and quite embarrassing, I must say, was them not having their new training kits.
Yeah, that created a big issue.
Honestly, the Super Falcons were the only team that were training in their old kits. They were training in the old kit that they used to wear, no name on it, just the jersey number. And it's quite uncomfortable when you need to wear something like that over and over again. And, you know, these are women, they are not men. Hygiene is top standard, you know, so it was quite appalling. And despite all of this, they were able to pull through.
You see, I hope that Nigerians are listening, because I'm glad that we're not just talking about their achievements now, we're talking about the struggles. And when I say struggles, I mean both on their individual sides before, you know, they joined the team and even after joining the team, because everybody thinks it's rosy. Oh, they are celebrated, they're decorated, they went to Morocco, but look at all the things that look at all the things that they had to go through. And now there's a debate about the reward. So let's talk about the reward.
Let's hold it. They said we should go on a break because they hate me right now. That reward is a whole segment. We'll talk about the rewards and what Nigerians have said and the controversy around it when we come back. Stay with us.
I'm trying not to be angry, you know, because when you talk about
at that point,
because like the ladies are literally furious, but we still have Opeoluwa Adebari with us, and I'm glad that he has mentioned some of the struggles that the ladies went through. And during the break, we're talking about the fact that this doesn't even look much like a reward, as it is a compensation for everything that they've been through and the things that they're owed, that Nigerians did not, you know, comfortably left out of the conversation. So let's talk about the reward. Now, each player, I mean, they all got rewarded, the Super Falcons and the team. Each player is getting the equivalent of $100,000, which is about 150-something, 53 million naira, a 3-bedroom, national honor, Order of the Officer of the Niger, and all of that, right? And definitely this has sparked controversy, as it will, it's not Nigeria again. So my question is, let's even leave the sentiments of the people now. Are these rewards commensurate with the value and the achievement that they have brought to Nigeria over and over again? No, because this is not the first time, you know. So would we say that it's too much?
No, respectfully, considering the nation that is Nigeria, I think this is good. I think it's a good reward because it was a historical achievement. And considering the fact that the men last year, they finished second and they all got the MON award, for me, that was all. Yeah. And, you know, for the women, them getting a higher order, the OON, the money as well, it's very good. But hopefully they get it as soon as possible because we've had situations in the past where our heroes from the past, talking about the 1994 Dream Team and whatnot, some of them did not get their rewards till years later.
Some of them died and they still did not receive their rewards. Let's say what it is.
Choma Njua, you know, historical athlete for Nigeria, just last week, that was when she just got her own 3-bedroom house.
When was it promised?
I kid you not.
When? From when?
After it was promised 1996.
Oh, wow.
After the Olympics at Atlanta. So,
Mr. Adebari, that's a
bro, 28 years. 28 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's hope that they will get it before, maybe they need it for their retirement.
But given the fact that, as you said, match bonuses and things had been sorted up to this point, there's a lot of expectation that the Tinubu administration will ensure. So, the log jam may not even come from the presidency. It can come at the point of where it's either the Ministry of Sports, Sports Commission, or the NFF is involved, and that could be where the delay is. Because oftentimes, if you look at certain things, when we talk about politics, federal does its job. It now gets to that state level, it gets to this other level, and things just all of a sudden you start hearing Chinese whispers, and then things become murky, and then somebody says, hold on, we're carrying file from this place to this place. But let's talk about the other aspects of the other aspects of the what would I call it, of the responses. And some have said maybe it's a gendered response. Do you think the reaction would be different if it was the Super Eagles receiving these awards? So you talked about what they received from last year. 2013, because I spoke to Tunde as well, AFCON winning squad got MON national titles, 5 million naira each. The late Stephen Keshi was the coach of the team, got 10 million naira. They also got money from Mike Adenuga, who gave them $1 million. And then many state governments hosted them and also gave them cash and houses. So if a player is from a different state, aside from hosting the whole team, they also get them something in their state as well. It was said that they made so much money that someone reportedly built his house and was buying cars like a sweaty man buys handkerchiefs. I'm not going to tell you my source on that one, but money has gone out, bonuses and rewards have often gone out, and it hasn't always been this sort of conversation. So do you think it's because it's the Super Falcons, or is it the time?
Genuinely, I do think it's because it's the Super Falcons. That's a personal opinion. If it was the Super Eagles, I do not think we'll be having this discussion. That being said, I do think that there is a problem as to the way Nigerians take a look at female sports generally. So not just football, but female sports generally. And then when you then consider the last 2 years in Nigerian sports, the women have been the one putting us on the map. Basketball, para-badminton, wrestling.
Even in the Paralympics.
Of course, even in the Paralympics.
The women dominate.
Football as well. So what are you talking about? What are the men doing? What have the men been doing recently? The women have been the ones putting us on the map. So for me, I think it's just an issue of orientation. It is a serious issue of orientation. And also for the Falcons, they got so much criticism for this in this tournament. You know, a lot of people were not even behind them. And one issue I have is the fact that I'm not attacking the four of you here, but we don't get a lot of women supporting our girls.
Say it with your full chest, because even we
Sincerely speaking.
How many times did we have on here on the show?
No, I'm not saying us. I'm saying
women.
It's not a generally true
we're judging
argument.
It's just I'm genuinely not interested in
football. Is just not my thing.
Which is fine. But then we've got other sports as well.
I like
basketball.
Why don't you guys make? I love this swimming thing they do. Synchronized swimming and gymnastics.
I think Nigerian women might be eating too much swallow to be
But every Olympic is one of it's one of my own choice at sport. And I found out that even in Nigeria, we don't really have international swimming team.
Because some people's ancestors are inside you.
See, we have natural swimmers. Ijaw people are literally born in water.
We cannot have a whole team of synchronized swimmers from Ijaw side of...
Why can't we? If they're the best people and they do the best times and they do the best performance, why can't
you know what I think? I think that if we take our time to celebrate the sports and the sports men that we already have, it will ginger more people to get into more sports. Swimmers will want to swim more.
I think as a people, as an industry, sports industry, that's not our focus. We focus on other things that bring us, like saying your bestsellers are what? At this break. So you focus on what your bestseller, and the bestseller is football.
True, but
male and female.
We have excelled
rugby just back up again.
Look at what girls are doing in basketball.
We should expand our view.
And as far as I'm concerned, basketball is not even something we do here. It's an American sport. But look at what our girls are doing with a lot of support. And I'm seeing now that they're even starting them young. And I see a lot of secondary school now have basketball tournament teams and everything. So if Nigeria really focuses on sports,
for everyone,
look at what they did at the Paralympics. A lot of us were very pleasantly surprised. I believe that if they put a lot of, infrastructural development, money into the sport, both female and male, we will see better.
But Opeoluwa, please don't lose your train of thought. You wanted to say something about that.
Yes, I must confess that the National Sports Commission is doing a lot of hard work in terms of putting resources in other federations. Swimming, we're getting there. Slowly, we're getting there. This year, is yet to be officially open, but there is an Olympic standard swimming pool at Roe Park in Yaba.
Finally.
Yes.
Finally.
I believe it will be commissioned in September.
Okay.
Probably in September, but before the end of the year, definitely. So we have plans for that. The federation, we also have an active federation for fencing.
Yes.
We saw very active federation for fencing. Very active federation for handball. Yes, and for basketball as well. So it's getting better. Genuinely, it's getting better. And I believe with this new era of this current sports commission, we would have more Nigerian athletes across across different types of sports. One other thing that we've been trying to do, and actually we have been doing, is getting across to our athletes based in diaspora to represent us in different competitions.
Choose Nigeria.
not necessarily to choose Nigeria, but to come and represent their country. I mean, exactly.
Well, they have the
How they represent
wait,
us?
who was the lady? Was it about 3 weeks ago? I think she's the runner that eventually just said, you know what, Nigeria, what the evil you have done is enough. And then chose to go and represent another country recently. So don't forget that diaspora athletes see that.
Of course.
They see, unfortunately, like a very laser beam focus on football. But for other sports, they see that. They see athletes who have given their best to Nigeria and try to continue to hold up for Nigeria, but then get treated in these ways and say, you know what, for me to continue my career, I need to go elsewhere. So how do you match that with you inviting diaspora Nigerians to come and represent their country?
It's very simple. The athletes in diaspora, what do they want? What do they seek? What do they enjoy? First of all, it's an enabling environment. An enabling environment for you to get better as an individual in your sport. Number two, good coaching. We need to start investing in coaching. So it's not just about the raw talents and the athletes. You need good coaching to sharpen that raw coal to be turned into a diamond. You honestly do need that. And then the third thing is regular competition. We have a lot of talented athletes. We've got a lot of talented teams. But sometimes when we go out for competitions, the difference between us and our counterparts is not having enough exposure. The more you compete, the more you rub shoulders with the best of the best, you will get better. So if we can do those three things, I promise you we'll continue to have conversations of Nigerian athletes being at par with international athletes. Why do we think our best football players sometimes get the recognition even at the Ballon d'Or level? It's because they are playing club football with other good footballers. You could have a very good player at a club.
Iron sharpening iron.
Exactly. You could have a very good player at a club and he probably just seems dull and he might not be reaching that full potential. But you put him in a different club with other good players, you see a different side of him. So it's quite simple for me. If you can do those three things, I promise you the narrative will change.
So there's a point you were making, and we were told that we interrupted you and we were supposed to take you back on it, that women were not supporting the Super Falcons.
Yes, sincerely speaking. The narrative before in previous years was that...
They're hanging their heads in shame. This reminded me of what something our guest said, that women listen to argue, and we just proved that. We're so sorry. Please go ahead.
But yes, if more women begin to get invested in female sports, it will be better. A couple of years ago, let's say a decade ago, the narrative was that female football was not entertaining, that the quality of the football was not up there. But the narrative has changed. The quality is good. I've been privileged to watch a couple of female Premier League games in England. And the level of support, the level of the quality of football is absolutely amazing. I would reference Arsenal Football Club. In recent years, the
ladies, you have to be specific.
The ladies.
Let's be specific for some people.
And in recent years, their team has been improving to the extent that last season they tested out having their female games at the male stadium, talking about the Emirates Stadium.
To see if they could fill it up.
Exactly. They picked specific games to use for the Emirates Stadium. And then towards the tail end of the season, they had what you call a local derby, the North London derby, Arsenal ladies versus Tottenham Hotspur ladies. For an 80,000 capacity stadium, they were able to sell out 60,000 tickets. Because of that, Arsenal have now announced that the female team will also now be using the Emirates Stadium from next season. So you need to put a conscious effort towards that. You really do need to. And we also then need to start sipping into the grassroots level. Let's not just leave it to women who have that genuine interest. You can build the interest in the child, but you need to provide that opportunity for them. So that goes to the schools, that goes to the Ministry of Education as well. And then for the other sporting sectors that have actually been improving, it's majorly because of private funding. So the doors have been opened now for private funding, especially for the Handball Federation, especially for fencing as well. Flag football now is on the rise, is on the rise. Possibly we might have a team that will compete at the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Last month, we actually competed at the Continental stage competition for flag football, and we won for both men and women.
Interesting.
So we don't have a problem with talent, but we have a problem with harnessing.
So you're saying private funding. Is private funding the same as sponsorship? Because when I look at the Super Eagles, every time they want to compete on an international or continental, you see the sponsors coming out very proud. You know, where are the sponsors for the Super Falcons? Because as much as women may not support, it's a game that everybody can watch.
Because I know
where
a sponsor
are the
can actually
sponsors?
take care of the kids. and still have their...
And so many things. Make them ambassadors, put them in commercials, use them the same way you're using, I'm so sorry, Anthony Joshua, the same way you're using, you wanted to use a Mikel Obi, the same way that JJ Okocha is being, come on, where are the sponsors?
Or do you think that they don't completely believe in female football in Nigeria, and I'm not talking Africa or globally, in Nigeria, do you think sponsors really key into the fact that women are playing football? Because whether you like, there's some people who will tell you that women have no business being on the field. I've heard, I have brothers, so
Is it one of your brothers? No, is it the one that likes me?
No,
I better warn him now.
I almost did like this.
But on the back end of that, you talked about also grassroots. That's how you get grassroots. That's how you, by the time a young girl is seeing an assistant in a commercial or an extra in a commercial, and she's like, oh my God, they're playing, and
because let's be honest, some people don't even know them because we don't talk about them until it's time to see them in action. A lot of people didn't know Michelle until now.
True.
That's the truth.
There is a problem and there's a reason for that. The issue is that for a very long time, if I'm being honest, we've not had structure in our women's football league. We've not had proper structure and we've not had proper consistency. However, over the last 2 years and counting, I am very, very proud of the Nigerian Women's Football League. I'm very proud of it because of the quality of football that we see. I'm proud of it because of the level of the transparency and responsibility that the administrators have taken over. Now we have very good teams, and we're starting to compete back at the continental level with teams like Remo Stars Ladies, Edu Queens, and whatnot. Look, we are producing good female footballers, and there's a structure now back in the league. So if we can maintain this, I believe the narrative will change because
even money, sir.
Of course, and then sponsors will then get involved. For the women's basketball league, they've got a major sponsor, But despite that, because of the issues with the admin level of the Nigerian Basketball Federation, it's been topsy-turvy. However, there's going to be a re-election soon, and I'm hoping that, maybe
that
when power changes hands, things will be better.
Let's talk about something else. So we've talked about the awards and the responses. I know Omoyele Sowore has a criticism of the reward. We took some of those yesterday as well. There's been a lot of conversation, even the Jasiu on the street. Some people are saying it's just too much money, especially now when people are hungry. It is what it is. Omoyele Sowore said, life is brutally unfair to Nigerian police force, adds police NG officer. Super Falcons won WAFCON, trained for 1 year, played for 1 month, were rewarded with $100,000 each and houses. Police officers protected them for decades, worked 35 years, retired with $1,500 equivalent as gratuity, no houses, no medicals, and little pension. The president or the governor who handed the awards, $1 billion in gratuity, lifetime pension, homes everywhere, full medicals. And let's not forget, he was part of the police protest that happened sometime last week rather. So he's not the only one. There's this sort of, people feel an imbalance in the context of the conversation. I saw one of our guests outside. He is with the Nigerian Medical Association. Doctors in Lagos on a 3-day warning strike because of unfair wages or unpaid wages. This is day 3. There's possibly going to be a national 21-day warning strike. And people are saying, you're giving the Super Falcons $100,000 equivalent each when you're not even paying your doctors. When we had a conversation about teachers and education yesterday, you're not paying your teachers. Police protested last week about pensions and gratuity, and we're giving this money. Where's the balance in the conversation? I say we can walk and chew gum. Two things can exist. We can give them their reward and compensation and fix these issues. But it feels like many people are saying it can't even happen if you're not able to address these issues that the country in totality has. Where do you stand?
So I think that people are failing to realize that this is a different administration as compared to different administrations in years past. So that's not really I'm not really trying to heap praise on this current administration, but they obviously have a different way in the way they want to approach things and the way they are taking the sports sector very seriously. Because there's a lot of work going on in Lagos State as well, in terms of development of sporting facilities and renovation of major sporting facilities as well. So it's down to the individuals at the administrative level and how they look at these things. Now, because of what the girls have achieved, we've got some people who are now clamoring for the other athletes in different sectors. For example, Opeoluwa Adebari, he's the #1 badminton player in Africa, and he's Nigerian. A lot of people don't know him. I probably just introduced you to him just right now. And then Eniola Bolaji, who 2 weeks ago, was last week, she beat the #1 para badminton athlete. And she's world #2. So these people as well deserve the recognition. That's just the truth. But I believe with what they've done with the Super Falcons, I believe it's the right step in the right direction. What they now need to do...
Only if they can replicate it across the
Exactly. But it might not be exactly the same thing at par. It might not be at par. But for considering whatever achievement these individuals have made, considering how they've put Nigeria on the map, I believe some sort of compensation should be given to these individuals.
Thank you. It's been very insightful, even for me on the table.
Put the mister. Thank you, mister.
Yeah, Mr. Adebari. Even after this celebration, Nigeria hasn't qualified for the Olympics since 2008.
Is that right?
Abi?
Jesus.
I'm feeling pain. What structural
Emotional
changes
damage.
do we need to make so that global competitions are sustainable? I feel sad because Olympics is something everybody looks up to every year. And just like you have spoken very eloquently, that it doesn't just fall on us. There are some of these sports that need training. Whether we like it or not, we can't just wake up and pick up someone and send them to Olympics. What can we do to, structurally, in every way, to make our global participation sustainable?
So first of all, to be precise, it's the female football team that has not qualified for Olympics in recent years. The men as well in recent years. For the past 2 editions, our fantastic under-23 dream team that we grew up to know has not been competing at the Olympics for the last 2 years. However, we've been competing in other sports. So it's going to take a community to get this done. But first of all, I would start with this narrative with our current the Tigers, our Nigerian female basketball team. They are currently competing at the 2025 AfroBasket competition. And would you know that they were not able to have their slated 2 friendly matches to play before the start of the competition?
So those are the competitions you're talking about in terms of helping to sharpening...
Exactly. The competitions started during the weekend. Our girls got to Nigeria, everyone got to Nigeria on Friday. One member of the team just recently joined them in the early hours of this morning after we've already played 2 games and we have qualified for the quarterfinals.
How are you going to mix her into the team?
So these are the issues, and this is where it starts from.
These are the issues.
So number one, our administrators need to sit up and to get it right. We need people at the admin level that know the sports. So I'm not saying you necessarily need to be a former athlete. I'm saying you need to understand the sport. You need to understand the demand. I've met several people who are not athletes at the admin level, but they understand it. They know what it takes to get it done. However, we can't just have one. No. If it's 10 against 1, that battle is lost. So we need more of them. Put the right people in the right places. Don't put someone in a position because he probably missed out on one political office and you feel
you're compensating them.
Don't do that.
Okay.
If you're putting the right person in the right political offices,
like a square peg in a
why,
square hole.
exactly, why are you compromising with sports? Because we need these talented individuals. We need those who are knowledgeable. So it starts from the admin level for me. If we get the administrators right, they will help us to provide a structure. And then we sit down through to the grassroots level. We need to start catching them young. Catch them young, get them into systems, get them into academies, but with a balance with education as well, because you can't play sports forever.
That's the point.
Exactly. You need to get that balance right. So for me, catch them young between the ages of 4 and 10. Between the ages of 12 and 16,
start
you need to develop that technical skill. We need it there.
Hold on. There's one final question Kat has to ask, and we don't have time. Kat, you got to speed it up.
All right, so WAFCON is every 2 years, isn't it?
Sorry to cut you short. We're having another edition next year. Guess where?
To Kat where?
In Morocco as well.
I don't understand.
Ask the question.
Okay, so it's every 2 years, and 2 years is a long time in anyone's life. So who are they? What can we look forward to with the Super Falcons, with this history?
This one is 1 year, it's next year, sorry.
So with the history queen. So who is going to retire? Who do we watch out for? Are they still going to be the same?
So quickly, the reason why we're having another one after this one this year's edition was meant to happen last year. So there was an issue with CAF, and I blame CAF as well. CAF has some
Let's not go to
this
CAF.
Because they found it difficult to schedule WAFCON in the FIFA calendar. That also for me is based on the way they see female football and female sports. So Talking about the team, first of all, we have
15 seconds.
We have a fantastic team. There's a lot to look forward to. Yes, old guards will be going probably like Azizat Oshoala, Francisca Odega, but we've got a lot of young talents.
Yeah.
Fola Shade, Ijami Lucy, Michelle Alozie, they are still very much in their prime.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot to look forward to. Chiamaka Unadozie, she only considered 2 goals in this whole tournament, and when it was at the final, that's arguably the best goalkeeper in Africa, and she should be awarded, CAF Women's African Player of the Year.
Golden Glove, something like that.
Yes, she was the best goalkeeper as well. So there's a lot to look forward to, honestly.
So there's hope.
Leave it.
There's hope.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love it. I never knew that sports conversation could be these, very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. So good. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Adebari. The Super Falcons have once again shown us that what excellence looks like: discipline, resilience, and the head of true champions, at the heart of true champions, actually. Their victory is more than a win on the pitch. It is a statement of what's possible when women are given the chance to rise. But reward must be met with responsibility. If this is truly a turning point, then it must go beyond bonuses and medals. It must mean better facilities, structured leagues, long-term funding, and real support for girls dreaming of following in their footsteps. The Super Falcons have done their part. Now it is time for the system to do the same. From celebration must come strategy, because future of women's sports in Nigeria doesn't start with an applause. It starts with action. So we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for joining us today.
Bye.